Top 10 Discrimination Research Topics. Discrimination of Black population in the U.S. Despite numerous democratic endeavors, discrimination against the Black population in the USA still exists in various aspects of life, employment, education, criminal justice, etc. The reason for this gap to maintain is quite hard to locate since it presupposes a thorough analysis of the cultural, political, economic, and social issues. In your essay, you could conduct this analysis or focus on one sphere of life. Gender discrimination and performance in the workplace. Gender discrimination in the workplace is still a sensitive issue. At the same time, women are more likely to be discriminated against than men. This is due not only to gender stereotypes but also to the fact that women often bear the brunt of family care. Consequently, they are considered less efficient workers than men. In your essay, you could look at the causes of persistent gender discrimination at work and suggest solutions to the problem. Racism in America during the 18th and 19th centuries. Throughout American history, white people have commonly enjoyed various privileges and rights. This was most clearly manifested in the 18th and 19th centuries. Until the American Civil War of 1961 to 1965, slavery was legal throughout the country. This situation laid the foundation for racial hierarchy and dehumanization in the United States for a long time. Women's rights movement in the anti-discrimination activities. From the 19th century to the present day, the women's rights movement has sought to combat various forms of discrimination faced by women in political, economic, educational, and other areas. Activism, advocacy, and legal reform are the primary means used by feminists to advance gender equality. In your essay, you could focus on the women's rights movement as part of a larger human rights struggle. Workplace and housing discrimination in Canada. The Canadian authorities have long and actively fought against racial discrimination. At the same time, some note that most Canadian laws mostly combat workplace discrimination, neglecting housing discrimination. In your essay, you can compare the two types of discrimination or focus on one of them. It would be a good idea to speculate about why fighting discrimination in the workplace is easier. Ableism and its effects on patient outcomes. Although discrimination has been addressed for quite a while, some of its forms persist in contemporary society. Ableism is one of these forms. By definition, this is a form of discrimination based on people's disabilities. In your essay, you could examine the nature of ableism and define the nursing strategies that can possibly reduce its effects and, at best, eliminate the phenomenon completely. Aging workforce, discrimination and diversity effects. The average age of the workforce in companies tends to increase, and today, there are many employees whose age is over 55 years. At the same time, many problems are associated with managing aged employees and addressing the issue of age discrimination. In your paper, you could focus on the benefits of having a diverse workforce for an organization. Another option would be to discuss the strategies for integrating older workers into the team. Income inequality and discrimination in the U.S. Discrimination has been a significant challenge affecting the U.S. in many ways. Some members of American society get more income than others based on gender, education, or race, among many other factors. It is hard to ensure equality when segregation is high. In your essay, you could discuss how this problem negatively affects all aspects of human life, including education and health. Transgender discrimination in healthcare. Transgender individuals often face harsh discrimination in various settings, including healthcare. Some examples are access to healthcare services, misgendering, lack of cultural competency, and stigmatization. In your paper, you could investigate the discrimination that transgender persons face in the healthcare setting in more detail. The issue of racism in the modern world. Racism and discrimination against ethnic minorities remain an acute problem in many countries. In your essay, you could define the 3 most prevalent types of racism: individual, institutional, and structural. Each of these forms can be exhibited both explicitly and inexplicitly. These types of racism are interconnected and mutually reinforcing. They shape and perpetuate racial inequalities, thereby hindering the harmonious life of society. Find more research topics on studycorgi.com.